it's lovely.
I'll do whatever you want.
It's lovely. Yeah.
No, the Glebe art show started. Now, when was the first one? Do you remember? I can't remember the date.
Well, let's just say 20 years ago.
20
At
years
least
ago.
a bit more than 20 years ago.
More than 20 years ago. And there was an artist who was living here, someone I had been to art school with. When I had started art school when I was 15 at the National Art School all those years ago. And we were friends the whole time I was there. Then his name was James Barker, and he lived in Glebe, and he was a very good artist. And then he moved to Italy, and I went separately with other friends and family because I married someone else at that time. And so we were all connected in Italy for many years. Had settled in Glebe and was living and working here, and I don't know, it was a very quiet time, and my friend James was a bit low-spirited at one point, and I said, Jamie, let's start an art show. I really wanted, the main intention was to cheer him up and to get him involved. And so that was the beginning, and then I just got organised, got people interested, and there we were, figured out a time and where to have it, and to get other people were interested, and there it was, and it just went beautifully.
Was it something to do with the library though? This first show.
Well, it started out. No, we didn't have it in the library. We did have part of it in the library, but we had that. What was the building beside the library? That building right there where.
Ben Leddy.
Ben Leddy, yes.
Yep.
So we went to we used Ben Leddy and the library. So we used both.
But before that, you had a show in a church hall, I believe.
Yes, we did that. Yes.
And wasn't that to raise funds for the library?
Yes, it was. Yes. Yeah, it was.
So that you initially started for the reasons you gave, plus raising funds for the library.
Oh yes, that's right.
Yeah. And then once the library was built, you moved into the library, and that's where you exhibited.
Yes, we had a show there. It was. Yes, it was interesting. I like both places, but the library was wonderful. And then I think we had something like 5 shows in a row.
In the library?
No, I don't think there were 5. I'd have to check it out for you.
It's like something like 18.
Oh yes, of course it's been. Oh, it's gone on.
18 or 19.
It went on and on.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Adorable.
Yeah. Okay.
Adorable. Yeah.
And so you were running it. You were the what did you call yourself? The coordinator.
The coordinator. That's right. And then we'd have meetings at the house, but it was so easy and straightforward, and there were no complications. And everyone was so positive, and it was a very good thing. And only good feelings about the Glebe Art Show.
And did you have some interesting people opening the show for you?
Yes, I certainly did, if I can't remember them. Because I'd call on old teachers and, people that I knew.
Who was the most recent person that we've got involved with the show?
Oh, I'd have to... Elizabeth Cummings.
Yes.
Is the most recent one, and...
she was a judge.
She was a judge, and she... and then I think she opened the show too.
What about Clover Moore?
Clover Moore, of course. Clover Moore was always involved.
Yes.
Always. I felt, out of respect for Clover. So,
and the Sydney Council now have great support for the show.
Yes, of course they do. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, it's still gone. It still went on. That's right. So yes, and I didn't mind saying. I wasn't saying goodbye to it, but I think you can get something going, but you don't need to cling on to it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yes.
You have the great pleasure, and it's still alive, it's still going.
And everybody loves it.
Yeah,
Yep.
so it's still, and I still, yeah, I judged the last one. I was very flattered they asked me to judge it. I don't think they approved, actually.
That's normal for judges.
Yeah, normal for judges
Yes.
to be criticised.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. It didn't matter anyways.
Remember some of the artists who came into that early show or the early shows?
Yes, I've got them written down. I know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I know who they were.
Mm-hmm.
It was James, and I don't know whether Elizabeth put anything, if she was in that first one. She must have been.
Mm-hmm.
That's Elizabeth
Yes,
Cummings,
yes.
Jamie's wife, and then, oh Lord, I've got the catalogues.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's the trouble getting old. Memory. Well, I'm 85, for God's sake. So
Travelling well. So let's talk about your paintings.
Yeah, my painting.
Yeah.
Yes, well, I've always I've gone through the usual things of when I was young. I was very expressionistic and liked to be quite wild. Some of the paintings there, so I always wanted to paint people. And they're too wild, I can't even bear to look at them anymore. But there are some that are memories, and I'd paint people from memory, and then I'd get into some portraits, which I like. And then I like the thing of just surroundings, of where you are and what you're looking at, and how. And then that just, I know probably people will find it immensely boring, but I just always think that it's using your eyes and what you think, and also I'm interested in light, whether time of day, all of that, and the atmosphere that's created by the light. So like that. Well, I loved Expressionism, and getting it on, showing your idea of something, being dramatic, being not being dramatic, but expressing yourself. What you feel. You weren't making things looking more beautiful than they were, or something like that. Anyway, just always, if you were moved by if you saw something that touched you, that was what you wanted to try to depict. The strong feeling thing. So I found a lot of people found a lot of things that I did at that time very unbearable. They didn't want to look at them. No, there was, I guess, because you had to be careful not to get into the what would you call it, making a comment that was too strong. So you had to.
Can you tell us something about these two on the floor?
Well, they were
Robin.
obviously people in some place where people could have a glass of wine, and I think that was in some kind of little, not a coffee, a bar, and this one too. These were local people, and you could just, and they're painted. That was my impression, and they're painted from memory, and someone once said to me, well, you don't think very much of the human race, do you? I said, no, to the contrary,